Hello ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, innies, outies and in-betweeners. My name's Dan and welcome back to another Pap Reports. Today is Thursday, April the 23rd, 2020. Today we're starting with a road traffic accident that occurred last week between a police vehicle and a wall. With so many people off the streets and crime rates said to be down by about a quarter, it's a wonder why Kent Police have yet to start an investigation into the crash which happened shortly before 5:25 on Sunday at the junction of Lydia Road and St Richard's Road in Deal. The vehicle mounted the pavement before striking the wall, and a picture shared of the incident shows one of the wheels were buckled by the impact and bricks scattered across the pavement, with metal railings being dislodged. Police have confirmed that they've taken the details of the homeowner to arrange for repairs of the wall and verified that the car is not written off. A police spokesman said shortly before 5:25 on Sunday a Kent Police vehicle on patrol was involved in a collision with a wall at the junction of Lydia Road and St Richard's Road, Deal. Nobody was injured in the incident and inquiries are ongoing to establish the circumstances surrounding the wall jumping out in front of the police vehicle. The police vehicle is not a write-off and will be repaired in due course. Kent Police has sufficient vehicles in its fleet to ensure policing commitments in Deal remain unaffected by the incident. Personally, I think that wall certainly needs to be dealt with and imprisonment is my recommendation. Following reports across social media platforms that some shops were not allowing children to enter despite being accompanied by their parent or guardian has been addressed by the government. The government has asked retailers to use their common sense approach when it comes to letting children into their stores. Speaking at a government press briefing on Wednesday, senior civil servant Liz Canavan said guidelines state retailers must ensure there is adequate social distancing measures in place for customers and to only let small groups of people into stores. Supermarkets and grocers have been working hard to implement social distancing while continuing to ensure our shelves are stocked and that none of our normal supply chains are disrupted, she said. All the essential workers in this effort deserve our thanks. However, I am concerned that some measures implemented with the best of intentions have been making it difficult for some families to safely access supermarkets. I want to be clear that the advice allows for small family groups, including children, to shop together as needed. I would urge all retailers to be conscious of the different circumstances of all kinds of families and to use a common sense approach when it comes to admitting them into shops. This comes also after a video from America showed a single mother with two young children being refused entry to a Costco store.
Single mother of two children, they're not letting me in Costco. They won't allow me in Costco. Oh, they won't let them in either. Leave your kid home. Hi, I'm a single mother with two children, and you guys won't let me...
Are you videoing me?
No, I'm videoing myself.
Okay. Is there a problem?
Yeah, I would like to go shopping, and I don't have anybody to watch my kids.
I do apologize, but unfortunately it is our policy that it's two per membership.
Why?
For your safety and my safety. It's basically for social distancing.
You guys are allowing all of these people in here, and just
We're
because...
allowing two per membership.
Right, but all of these people that are in here, like there's a million people in here, hundreds of people in here, however many people are in
We're
here.
actually monitoring it very carefully.
Right, okay, but like I don't have anybody to watch my kids. I can't hire a babysitter because social distancing. I can't have somebody come into my house because of social distancing. I can't, like I literally can't do anything.
Yeah, what we can do for you is we can, if you need a few things, we can gladly get it for you and you can pay for it at membership. You can do that.
Well, your produce changes, I came from all the way from Amarillo to go grocery shopping here.
It's amazing how blatantly ignorant some people can be, and that coupled with their actual lack of common sense makes them in fact a danger. What do you do if you really want to push the limits of surveillance and control over people? Join the police? If you said that, you would be half right, but there is a much better way to do it. You simply wait until everyone's locked down and then try to turn all the picturesque places in the community into no-go zones. That seems to be exactly what Greater Manchester Police are trying to achieve. Under the guise of coronavirus regulations and in attempts to stop them being breached, police are trying to approach this so-called problem in Piccadilly Gardens by doing things such as removing particular benches, which were popular to street drinkers, and blocking off doorways near McDonald's that were being used apparently by drug dealers. Now, when you hear that, it all sounds quite a normal way of curtailing public order situations. But when the police are also involved in the design process for the revamp of Piccadilly Gardens, pushing for increased CCTV, better sightlines and the removal of the secluded areas which allow troublemakers to congregate unseen, it quickly becomes somewhere you can't even go to be on your own and relax without your every move being monitored. I'm not against curtailing public order offences or stopping vandalism, for example, but this is just another step to having a camera every 100 yards in a state where you can't even fart or swear without being heard.
Look, I don't need a history lesson. Come on, Hal. Where the goddamn guns?
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
What? Fuck you.
The aim, Inspector John Shivlock says, is to restrict options for criminality. We are looking to make it a hostile environment for them, he said. The ultimate aim is to make this a no-go area for criminals. Problem is, Johnny boy, it's going to restrict options for law-abiding citizens too. And all that BS about you having nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear is irrelevant, as we all have the right to freedom of movement and freedom of expression, which these cameras take away from us because we're being monitored all the time. Here's an idea for you. Why don't you just put a fence with barbed wire all around the nice places so that they can't be soiled by anyone wanting to go and enjoy them? How about a bit of real community policing again, where there is a visual presence of police in the area, instead of waiting for the crime to happen before every cop drops their donut and rushes to be the first at the scene to stick their knee in someone's back or taser them? During this coronavirus pandemic, 1,140 rough sleepers have been said to have been put up in hotels across Greater Manchester. PC McFarlane from the Street Engagement team said that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to help the region's homeless populations, and police are already seeing the results. But what about when this pandemic is over? What then? I bet you £1 to a penny there's going to be more homeless people after this shitstorm passes, and all those homeless currently being put up in hostels will be back on the streets. Last month, Chief Constable Ian Hopkins suggested Piccadilly Gardens should be closed off during the lockdown, before police eventually backtracked on that idea. It's not something Chief Inspector Fraser thinks would have helped, it was said. There was talk about fencing the grass off. That wouldn't achieve anything, in my opinion, he said. At best, it would move the problems somewhere else. There are much better ways to deal with people, he said. But he does believe the measures being taken now will eventually come good. He said one of the things we need to do is change the culture of the place. And that's exactly what's trying to happen in this country. Everybody's culture is being changed, and I'm scared it's not going to go back the way it was. Sussex police are said to have been left flabbergasted last week after 39-year-old Trevor Dangerfield, who coughed in the face of a police constable saying he had coronavirus and wanted to infect the constable and his family, was sentenced to 18 weeks in jail, suspended for 1 year. Dangerfield was arrested on suspicion of breaching the peace after becoming aggressive towards police. Dangerfield pleaded guilty to assaulting an emergency worker at Brighton Magistrates Court on Saturday. He was also ordered to pay £100 compensation and a victim surcharge of £156. Matt Webb, Sussex Police Federation chairman, said the court had failed to recognise the seriousness of the incident, calling the decision not to jail Dangerfield a disgrace and flabbergasting. He said the failure of the courts to recognise the seriousness of the incident and pass an appropriate sentence is staggering. Officers have been placed in an impossible position of trying to uphold hastily drawn up legislation designed to protect the public and the NHS, in addition to their day-to-day business. When they are attacked in this way for simply doing their job and are not supported by the judicial system, it is a disgrace. Any assault on an emergency service worker should attract a custodial sentence, and in the current climate, especially to not do so is flabbergasting. Detective Inspector Stephen Shimmons added, "Our officers should not have to deal with being assaulted whilst carrying out their duties to protect the public. The fact he coughed in an officer's face and said he has COVID-19 is awful, but to then make direct reference to infecting the officer's family is despicable and obviously distressing. We hope this conviction goes to show that any such behaviour will not be tolerated." I'm not sure D.I. Shimmons quite understood the outcome of this one. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I certainly do not agree with people coughing in the face of anyone at any time, as it can pass on viruses and germs from any number of ailments. But to say you hope this conviction goes to show that any such behaviour will not be tolerated is a joke. I mean, we could spend a whole day going through the suspended sentences that police constables get for doing things that would actually warrant jail time, and still not cover all the suspended sentences dished out in the past year. I do agree that people who break the law should be punished, and as coughing can clearly cause someone to become ill, then it is in some way an assault, but I think it's ever so hypocritical of the police to make such a fuss over a suspended sentence, when they would literally all be sucking off their brief and Federation rep to get them a suspended sentence. Police scrambled a helicopter on Saturday, costing a minimum of £2,000 per hour, in order to track down two men who had gone out on a boat at Thornton Reservoir around 9:30 p.m. on Saturday. Police say they were called to the reports of a houseboat break-in, but upon arrival found no signs of a break-in. Convenient. Maybe that's just a good excuse to have wasted taxpayers' money on a helicopter. While at the scene, police say they saw two men paddling a boat across the reservoir. The helicopter was scrambled and were able to spot the men, who were, by then, apparently completely submerged in the water. Now, that does sound suspicious, but maybe it was just that they knew the police were going to be silly about them being in the middle of nowhere, isolated from everyone, and putting no one else in danger. A Leicestershire police spokeswoman confirmed the pair had since been issued fixed penalty notices for breaching coronavirus legislation. Well, if there was only two of them, then they've not breached the coronavirus legislation, because two people are allowed to group together. It appears, despite the signs letting people know the reservoir is closed, the boat ride was just too appealing, Market Bosworth's police statement said. Researchers from the University of Granada say that vitamin D may help people to survive coronavirus and have revealed plans to investigate. They're all going to the park to sunbathe. The team plans to run a 10-week trial involving 200 coronavirus patients. Their beliefs come after a study in cows found that a lack of vitamin D was likely the main cause of bovine coronavirus infections in the past. According to the researchers, it seems plausible that vitamin D could be a potential intervention to fight against COVID-19. Best of all, the team believes the vitamin could improve your outcome, whether you have no symptoms, non-severe symptoms, or even severe symptoms. A researcher at the University of Sussex, Dr. Jenna Macchiochi, I think that's how you pronounce it, said if you are deficient in vitamin D, you are 3 to 4 times more likely to catch a cold. Vitamin D is naturally produced in our bodies in response to sunlight. The news of the new study comes amid reports that Public Health England will soon advise the public to start taking a daily dose of vitamin D. I wonder if that's on top of their already allowed exercise. A report by The Telegraph indicates that the guidance will change amid the coronavirus lockdown, during which time many people are not receiving enough sunlight. A big thank you to Patreon supporters: Adi, Audrey, Carl, Chris, Copwatch UK, Danielle, Dave, Dean, Holly, Ian J, Marty Lab, Misdemeanor, Peter, President Trump and Rich. As always, your support is helping me to continue providing you with these daily videos. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.
Good night, all.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so. In the description of every video there are some links to ways that you're able to help support the channel so I can continue putting out content. If you're unable to help us in that way, Hit that subscribe button up the top there if you haven't already. Become a subscriber. That is support enough. Share the videos, comment, like, it all helps. If you're looking for something else to watch, up top there is my latest video. Down the bottom there is a video that YouTube recommends for you.